D&D. I've actually played D&D once before, but I never had to worry about character creation because my brother, the DM, took on the almighty role of character generator. All I had to do was enter the prompt silly little guy and he outputted a halfling bard with an alcohol and gambling addiction. It was perfect. But as perfect as this little guy was, I feel like I missed a huge part of the D&D process by avoiding character creation. Years later, here I am, thinking, hey, what if I try and learn this from scratch? And what better way to do that than to kidnap my friends and turn them into D&D characters against their will? And it went perfectly the whole time with no mistakes whatsoever. Who am I kidding? This was a mess, oh my god. If you're a D&D connoisseur, just prepare your forehead for the amount of face palms you're probably gonna be doing. Buckle up, cause it's amateur hour and I've got the wheel. Let's do this thing. Hey Guqqie, wanna get in my van?
What?
I'll make you a pirate.
Let me in.
So, to start this all off, I decided I really wanted to get into this whole process. I needed to commit, so I went to my local Barnes & Nobles to buy dice and a user handbook. Easy mission, in and out and we're done. Except obstacle number 1. I picked up the user manual, turned it over onto the back, and saw that gorgeous $50 sign printed on the bottom. I'm pretty sure I just watched a fly escape the empty dessert of my wallet in response, so I very nicely put that back for the next fortunate soul to spend their life savings on. On the bright side, I found a $7 pack of dice, which was a relief and a little embarrassing to buy all alone from the bookstore. Nerd. I probably should have just gone to my local Walgreens for this. Oh my lord. I found this character sheet online which was free adjacent to print, set up my dice, pulled out the handbook on my iPad and it's not as cool, but whatever. I was ready to create this character. I'm starting with Guqqie, another fellow art YouTuber that I decided to indoctrinate into my schemes. I immediately knew I needed to turn them into a pirate. Why? Well, I don't know, just a random idea. no real reason. So I think a good place to start is race. There are a lot of those, to be honest, but I decided I wanted to focus on the main few that I could find after simple YouTube video search. From what I gathered, we have the elf if you want to be hot, half elf if you can't commit to being hot, gnome if you like being bullied, dwarf if you always point out that Viggo actually broke 2 toes when taking that helmet, half orc if you want to punch shit, human if you want to self-insert romance anything that moves, halfling if you want to be a menace in tiny form, tiefling if you have double X's before your username, and a dragonborn either because you're a Skyrim nerd or because you like shapes and colors. Let me know in the comments if I racially stereotyped everyone properly or if you have any pointers on that front. For Guqqie's character, I was drawn to the halfling, mostly because I think it would be kind of funny. And also, from what I read about halflings, especially Lightfoot halflings, they can be both very committed to community and family while also being drawn by wanderlust to travel beyond the safety of the Shire. And isn't that what pirates are? One giant family of travelers? Halfling it is. I searched up what a halfling has to add it to the paper and learned that they are naturally lucky, get some charisma, and are 3 feet tall. This is going so well. Now I get to choose their class. This is where it gets fun. So Guqqie actually has 2 main Sona designs. One little goober and one full-blown human design. Both very cool, but as I tried to decide which one to use, I was struck with the genius thought. Why do I have to choose? Whoa, you say as you stare at me like I haven't slept in 3 days and 2 nights. Halflings can't be barbarians. And oh, how wrong you are about the barbarian thing. I really haven't slept in a minute, but that's besides the point. This halfling shall be a barbarian, but not just any barbarian. I'm leveling her up to level 3 because I'm the DM and I do what I want, and so that I can choose a path for the barbarian. You see, at level 3, each barbarian gets to choose a specialty of sorts, where they get special power-ups and specializations for their characters to use. Did I say special enough in that? Oh my god. For Guqqie's character, I chose the Path of Giants. This path means that when the barbarian goes into their rage, it grows 3 feet in size and takes on the mighty form, drawing from the powers of their ancestral giants. Now, I get to design their little harmless, silly little halfling in a monstrous, badass barbarian giant form using both their Sona designs. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Someone give me 3 medals and another coffee. I need more. I chose intimidation and survival for their 2 skills because I thought it sort of fit the vibe I was feeling. A cunning, street-smart pirate that is often underestimated for their halfling side, but is actually the secret muscle of their crew. It's perfect. Perfect, I tell ya. I realized I hadn't even touched the top half of the sheet, or the second 2 pages for that matter, but we don't talk about that. Which makes me wonder what order I'm supposed to do this in, because it's looking kind of backwards right now. But this top half is where I get stuck, because what do you mean I have to name my character? What is this preposterous proposition? Guqqie Goodgather. Yeah, that looks good. Guqqie is a barbarian level 3 Lightfoot halfling with 20 XP because those numbers mean absolutely nothing to me. Their background is and their alignment is, what is that? Like this doesn't look right. For personality traits, I'm leading into the seems harmless but is actually a beast in disguise type person who is fiercely loyal to their crew. Wait, let me put that in the ideals actually. Crew and then a ton of greater than arrows. And of course, that means their bonds are with this makeshift family of theirs. I said their flaw would be that they can be reckless when it comes to acting on emotion, just so we have that magical girl barbarian rages more often. I filled in some other stuff and it was time for the main event. Rolling the dice. Here we are, everybody. I'm going to be rolling a d20 for each of the 6 different categories, and then I'm supposed to be putting those numbers wherever I want them to build what the character is good at. Right off the bat, we start off with 16, which is pretty dang great. Immediately after that, we got a natural 20, baby. That's right. We're eating good today. Then we got a 13, which is pretty good. 10 could be worse. Another 10, still pretty fine. And finally a 6, which is a little disappointing. But given the rest of the spread, not bad at all. The final numbers are down, and after a little thinking, I decided to spread them out like so. With all the rolls assigned, I got the lovely experience of figuring out that the next step is doing math. God damn it! What is this equation? Who chose this and why? As an engineering major, I should probably be a little more thrilled about this discovery, but in reality, this is reality, and I don't like reality. Whatever, I sucked it up and did math to finally get what is supposedly the modifiers for whenever you make a roll in the game. And these are the final results. Wow, the fruits of my labor. Everyone clap, I know how to add and subtract. With that, we're just about done, except for the entire other 2 pages, but this video is already getting a bit longer than I expected, so I'll just tell you guys what the backstory is. Guqqie Goodgather is a halfling and I'm not doing that. Guqqie Goodgather is a halfling with a traveler spirit. When they're young, they run away from home and stow away on a ship named the Jolly Rancher. A very original ship, which is definitely not a ripoff of anything else. No. These crewmates are so very original, all of them. Anyways, Guqqie is now traveling the high seas as their crew's main muscle, which you wouldn't first expect from this halfling. Overall, I'm pretty proud of this, despite the fact that half the character sheet is still empty and I still don't know what this thing is. But whatever, this works, so we're on to getting the final judgment from Guqqie themselves. I'm going to send you your D&D character, Guqqie. Uh-oh, I've already fucked it up. Hold up.
It's okay.
So basically what I did was I made your character into a halfling barbarian who is the Path of Giant, which basically says at level 3 you get to take on this cool form when you go into a rage.
Wait, so you said the thing about the pirate.
Uh-huh. So basically your backstory is that you're a Lightfoot halfling that left home to go on a voyage, and you joined this merry little crew that rides on a boat called the Jolly Rancher. And they're all definitely not copyrighted versions of One Piece characters. That's not what they are.
I love that so much! I love that!
But you've got your little crew, your little family of pirates, and you're on a mission to just explore the world.
And find the 2-piece.
Find the 2-piece!
The 2-piece! I love that. So I want to play this character now.
Oh my god, it would be so fun. Hey Orba, I'm gonna kidnap you now.
What?
Cool, thanks. This video was actually inspired by one of Orb's recent videos where she gave me godly powers, so I think it's fitting to wrap this up with her. For Orb's character, I think I had little choice considering Dragonborn was the only one that really fit her Orbulus material. I think the most inhuman one would fit her Sona, and after doing under a minute of research, I learned that there's a type of Dragonborn that has black scales. If you see the aura of Toothless within this character, no you don't. No you don't. I think after attacking this sheet once before, I'm a little more confident about going into the next one. I did some reading about Dragonborns, especially the Black Dragon ancestry type, and learned how the Black Dragons are like these more rigid survivalists, live in tropical rivers and wetlands, and they can barf acid. Oh. Huh. That's neat. The concept I had in mind for Orb from the start was to base her entire magic system and attack on paint and artistry. So for example, her dragon ancestry has acid breath, right? So I did a little digging and I found out that there are actually fabric dyes that use acid to change the colors. This article kind of separates them to the category of 3 main acids. I'm gonna try and pronounce these and absolutely fail. Here we go. Anthraquinone acids are used to dye things blue. Azo acids are used to get all the red colors, and finally the triphenylmethan is for the yellow and green colors. God, that was terrible. I thought it would be cool if she could switch between those 3 assets in particular and become like a dragon printer, but for acid barf, and just make art with her dragon ancestry. Now, I'm not sure if this is allowed, both the idea of 3 different acids or the fact that I was using the attack for non-attack purposes, but every time I tried to search it up, I kept getting the same advice, which was, ask your DM. I don't have one of those. I can't ask a DM if I don't have one, unless I am the DM in that case. Hey, me, can I do this thing I really want to do that you also want to do because you are me? Hi, me, I'm so glad you asked, and after a lot of thinking, I think I'll say yes. So now that I got the DM's explicit permission to do this, nobody can tell me that I'm doing it wrong. That's right, untype those paragraphs, you fools, I win. For the class of this character, I actually couldn't find anything that fit amongst the main classes. However, after looking a little closer, I found the Artificer class, which is apparently like a mage-type class where the magic is channeled through objects. And what better objects to make this character use than painting tools? I ended up giving her an enchanted paintbrush that she channels her magic through, so that every time she tries to cast a spell, she has to first draw it out of the air before it goes into play. I also chose Arcana and Perception as her main skill since I think that would fit the character's vibe. This inventive, yet free-spirited sort of personality. Of course, her ideals would be that creativity is key. I don't know if she would have any bonds since I want to make her a traveler, and Dragonborn don't seem to casually leave their clans. It's more like a permanent see-you-never type of situation, so we're leaving the bonds section with a tentative question mark. And finally, I think this Dragonborn's greatest flaw would be her immediate attraction to anything shiny and pretty. Gold? Need it. Diamonds? Hand them over. If you want to distract this guy under a minute, just flash your Mulan, she's won over. Very Dragon Core, I think. Now for rolling the dice once again. This part is pretty fun, right? And it went well before with Guqqie, so it's bound to go well again, right? Wrong! This, my friends, is the dice of pain and misery. Someone cursed the shit while I wasn't looking, because right off the bat I roll a nat 1. What the hell? Whatever. I lose gracefully, I take it like a champ, I put all my faith in the next one, and I get a 16, which is great. We're back on track. I'm not gonna plague Orb's character with my unfathomably inconsistent luck, and then I roll a nat 1 again. What the heck? I have already failed Orb once with a nat 1 roll, and after a moment of pain and misery, I realized that I did technically give myself the power of God as DM. As Uncle Ben once said, with great power comes great ability to abuse said power, and you should do that. So therefore, I decided to cover it up and pretend it never happened. I'm back in full confidence, baby, and the next thing I do is roll a 3. I react very normally to this. Okay, whatever. I already abused my power once and I can't do it again so quickly, so I take the 3 and move on. Surely, if I shake it extra hard, it wouldn't... I fall to the floor in agony, mourning the great character Orb could have been. I consider pushing away my morals again for the sake of the character, but my incredibly good, awesome sense of goodness stopped me. I may be a liar and a cheater, but I'm not a monster. The rules refused to be overlooked twice, and eventually I succumbed to the fate of the 3. Okay, at least the worst is behind us. I used some of my magical mage powers to imbue the dice with some luck, and finally I roll a... What the fuck? Oh no, what just happened? Looks like I lost some footage in the middle there. Aw, man. Aw, man. Looks like you guys will never see the rest of the rolls where I got a solid 10 and 11. Aw, man. That sucks. That really sucks. After many trials and tribulation and more math, it was done. Here is Noxious Orbisar, one of the Noxious clan, a clan known for their survival skills and cunning. Orbisar, however, took a different route from her fellow clanman after accidentally acid barfing all over her silk sheets as a kid. The color changed to this lovely blue, and she knew from then on that she would become an artiste, specifically a fashion designer. Though Orbisar may have been nerfed by the dice god, she is not lacking in business or money when she leaves her clan and makes a name for herself amongst the high society as an elite designer. And that's where her character sheet ends, and the beginning of the real adventure begins. Guqqie's gonna go bake. Go
Okay. Yes! Okay, if I don't come back, the house is on fire.
Alright, so... Here, I'm gonna press send and then I'll explain the concept of your character. So basically the concept is you're an artificer and you channel your magic through a set of tools, specifically a paintbrush and other you know, painterly tools.
Oh my gosh.
There's like these 3 specific types of acid that actually can be used as clothing dye for like silk and wool. So I was like, what if I just
Excuse me?
use that so your character can just barf over clothes and make them look beautiful?
Oh my god.
Yes, don't look at the left side. I'm so sorry. I feel like I need to like personally apologize for my terrible roles for your like.
Wait, what? Wait, God knew I would be a threat and nerfed me the hell back. You know what? That 16 intelligence isn't that bad.
Yeah. You got the
I'm just-
intelligence.
Oh, I have 1 dexterity. To get on my cardio gain as a dragonborn. I like to think that in this world, being a fashion designer is the equivalent of being a starving artist in the dragonborn values.
Hell yeah. It's like I want a fashion designer. A freaking 6-foot tall dragonborn comes out. Here are both of the sheets side by side. I definitely have a lot of things just empty because I don't really know what to put there. If I did have a DM, this is where I'd ask him what the hell these things do, but since it's just me, I say call it a day. I mean, I think it went pretty well. As much as I suck at the character creation process, it was definitely fun. I think I definitely get better with it with more time and practice, but for now, I'm sort of running out of time for this creation of this video, so yeah, no, I'm just gonna put this out there. I actually had 3 more people I was gonna D&Dify, so I could actually make an entire fake party, but this took so much longer than I anticipated, and well, maybe I'll just save that for part 2 if anyone's interested. And if I do get to making more, I would honestly love to try actually playing the game. Maybe I can gather all the people I D&Dify and make this little one-shot campaign that I later turn into a little video for you guys. What do you think? And also, if you're a D&D expert and you want to give me pointers, I'd love to hear them. I've always been interested in getting into the game since I've been watching people like Brennan and the gangs for the past few years. The storytelling aspect is right up my alley, but of course, there's a lot to learn about the game before I could actually play it quote-unquote properly. If I made any of you unfathomably angry by this, I'm glad. Please leave your lengthy rage in the comments below so I can feel a little camaraderie in the mind freak that was this creation process. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time, hopefully soon. Bye-bye!